Bring that joy.
In one word, describe the game's hang-up.
Vibrant. Everyone's kind of getting along, playing games.
I would be underestimating if I gave it any less than a 10, right? I've met some fantastic people here today, so it's a 10.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, especially this drink from Court of Cards. Yes, the best drink ever, passion fruit.
I had a lot of fun, honestly. I feel I've been in touch with my inner child, which is something I should do more.
Such a different atmosphere altogether. I don't think I have ever been to such an event earlier.
What's your impression of Builder's Tribe so far?
Builder's Tribe just screams community. It's just for the people.
The way you've managed and organized this event, I'm really impressed because it's something that we haven't done before and we were lacking as a community.
It's a nice community. I love how you came up with the idea to network with a lot of people. Networking, chilling, hanging out, playing cards. I love it. Drinks, especially. I love my drinks.
Community. Coming together. I've met 6 new people today, which is really good. And I'm going to take those meetings further. I'm going to just through games.
It is getting interesting, and I think after today's conversation that I had around the table, there's some interesting subject and plan and project coming up.
This tech community is different in terms of the way networking is being happening. There are these young minds behind it, so we get to learn a lot with these guys.
I've been looking for a community such as this for quite some time.
It's a lovely community actually, and diverse. I love that I met some people who work with as mentors in the community, and it's also fun to see some university students joining, so there's a really diverse, let's say, background of people joining all in all.
Hi everybody, welcome to today's Tech Forward Talk. My name is Ajiri, Omafokpe, co-founder of Builder's Tribe, and I am super excited to have everybody here with us today. So whether you're tuning in live right now or you're watching the replay, super excited to have you. So welcome to Builder's Tribe. Builder's Tribe is essentially, you saw all the videos that just went out. We are a thriving, very energetic tech community here in the MENA region, and we're currently based out of Qatar, and we're going to expand to other parts of the region very soon. So keep an eye on that and follow us as we go through this journey. So we recently just did a very lovely flagship event, Tribe Tech Fest, and it was amazing. We had over 400 people join us, and pretty great milestone. We hope to do more, connect more people, and strengthen the ecosystem. All right, so today we're going to be doing something very interesting. We have a very interesting topic. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I will very, very, very soon. So remember to hit subscribe and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the videos. We do this every month. So we call this segment Tech Forward Talks, and we try to support founders, investors, students, tech professionals on their journey in the tech space. All right, so as part of our regular tradition, please put it in the comments. Tell us where you are viewing from as I introduce our lovely, lovely, lovely speakers that are going to be taking us through some questions today. Hi, Gabriel. Hi, David. How are you doing today?
Hi guys, good evening.
Yes,
I
welcome.
think you missed a couple of lovely. It's actually very, 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 very lovely. But
Oh, I see. I'll make sure to add all the lovelies next time. All right. So I'm super excited about this one. You know, lots of people around the world, especially in the MENA region, are trying to raise money for their startups. And so we decided to bring on these two lovely co-founders. You should meet them in person. They're amazing. And the title of today's Tech Forward Talk is Inside their $1 million seed round. So they're going to be sharing with us today stories and, you know, different things around how they were able to raise the money, you know, real life straight stories, right? They're not keeping anything from everybody that's live here today. So if you're live, you're very lucky because you get to ask questions at the end of the webinar after we've gone through questions that I have for them. All right, so we're going to don't forget, tell us where you are viewing from right now if you're joining us live. Okay, so over to you, Gabriel. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Growa AI, and tell us how excited you are to be sharing this knowledge today.
I'm very excited. So my name is Gab. It's actually Gabriele. I'm Italian. Although I spent most of my life in the UK. Growa is I have a little bit of echo. I'm not sure if it's me or you.
No, it's okay from my end. David, is it good on your end?
No, I have a bit of echo too. I think it's better if we mute ourselves and talk.
Okay, I don't have any echoes here. So does it happen when I speak? What about people in the audience? Are you hearing any echoes from me?
I don't hear any echo from you.
Oh, okay, that's it. Please go on.
Anyway, I'm gonna carry on. Growa starts in 2017, many years ago. It wasn't started by Davide and I. It was started by the other two co-founders that unfortunately are not here today. They couldn't join us. They was basically a small family business which aim was to save water. And in 2023, end of 2023, David and I got involved because we wanted to do something different. We wanted to transform this from a family business to a global startup. And that's when we decided to relocate to Qatar, to go to a country that was actually feeling the stress of water scarcity and food scarcity. Qatar in particular, that was on a blockade, and therefore they understand what is the significance of food security. And therefore we decided to relocate, and now both Davide and myself and Giuliano, our other co-founder, are all here.
All right, thanks for sharing. So I'm going to bring you on now, David. So please tell us a little bit about you, your story, and yes, whatever else you'd like to share with us today.
Cool. Well, where do I start? Let me say the relocation wasn't new for Gab and I, because we've been living most of our lives abroad. I mean, we are Italian, or our blood is Italian, but we actually met in London, where I spent almost 15 years of my life, and Gab, I think, more than half of his life now. And yeah, I always worked in a different industry. Always been into the luxury industry, especially in my last years in cars for Tesla, Porsche, and Mercedes. And when the guys called me end of 2023 to join this new adventure, I was super excited but scared at the same time, because it was the first time in my life that I was becoming an entrepreneur. I always been employed. So yeah, that was the beginning of this adventure. Definitely a nice start. We're gonna tell you more later, I guess, how it developed. Something about myself, I love football, even if I don't play anymore because of all my injuries. I have a lovely daughter that I had to kick out of the house, otherwise she would be here with us, and the interview it would be her, not me. And that's it. Yeah, I love enjoying time with my family and friends. I became quite boring since I became a father, but yeah, that's all.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. All right. So now I'll be asking the question that we always ask when we start these things, which is, what is the most adventurous thing that you have ever done? So I'm going to take David again. So let's hear it.
Well, apart from fighting with my wife, that happens on a daily basis. That's the scariest thing I do, I guess. No, I guess the scariest thing I ever done is jumping out of a plane. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to become a pilot. Then I didn't manage because health. I didn't pass the test. I wasn't fit enough, I guess. And but I never stopped. So I was like, I need to try the adrenaline of flying. So with few friends, we decided to do it, and yeah, it was scary, but then an amazing experience that I would love to do it again. But because I'm a dad now, I can't do it because probably my wife will be the one kicking me out of the plane, but without parachute this time. So better not try it.
All right, that's a very interesting adventures. I would like to also add, so I currently play football like as a hobby, and so I completely get all the stories around injuries. As we get older, we have to be sort of careful. So hopefully, maybe one day we'll just play like a casual Sunday afternoon match. Should be fun. Yeah,
we can stick to FIFA. We can stick to FIFA or Pro if you want. It's better, I can't risk breaking anything at the moment.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, so over to you, Gabrielle. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Davide before said he became boring after he became a father. He was always boring. But I'm also a very boring person. I haven't done much that is particularly adventurous. I guess, or at least I haven't done much that is particularly adventurous that I want to share live with people listening and watching. I guess the most adventurous thing I've done was backpacking across Europe and a little bit of South America for a couple of months just before my 18th birthday. And during that trip, there were a lot of adventurous things that, again, I'm not going to discuss live. But yeah, Davide, don't say anything. I see you that you've taken the.
I just wanted to highlight. He just said just before I turned 18. That was a long time ago, guys. Like a really long time ago. So I'm surprised you remember.
It was adventurous because mobile phones were kind of new. There was no mobile phones. I used to call home with I don't even know what they're called. The phone on the street. It
was it with the card in the machine or with the coins still? Because
no, the coins, the token coins.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, that's lovely. Thanks for sharing. I hope to backpack around Europe one day. So we have lots of people from different parts of the world. Let me up. We have Green from Nigeria. We have Samuel from Mauritius. And I think we saw Michael earlier. He's in Qatar. So yes. So these are all the people that are live, and we all have questions. So everyone is excited and cannot wait to hear from you guys. So I would like to say to everyone that's watching live right now, please don't forget to put your questions in the comments. So you put it early, I'll be able to see it early enough to bring it up when it's time for Q&A at the end. But if you don't bring it up early, you might not get a chance to ask your question live. So please do not forget to put your questions down very early. Okay, I hope you're ready because I'm ready, and let's go. All right, so I'll be asking the first question now. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. What problem were you trying to solve with Growa AI, and what moment made you realize that it was time to raise external funding? And this question is for you, Gabrielle.
So the problem that we're trying to solve is water scarcity. A lot of people don't realize that water scarcity means food scarcity. We are one of the main companies that are part of smart agriculture systems, and our main aim is to increase productivity while saving natural time. In terms of one moment made us realize, I'm not sure you're going to like my answer. I think you should know very early on what your plan is going to be. You should know immediately at what stage you're actually going to need to raise. You should have a plan. You should try to stick to it as much as possible. Yes, you have to be agile. But there wasn't a specific moment where I can say that we realized with a plan when we first acquired some of the company, when we decided to relocate, and it was all about following the plan. So there wasn't really a moment where things changed for us. It was always, we know the plan that we're trying to execute, and we're going to try to execute it to the best of our ability.
Okay, thank you for sharing. That's a very interesting perspective. You can only get that from experience, because I don't think lots of people actually do plan about how they're going to raise, when they're going to raise, how much they might need, and just dive into starting to build. So I'll guess all the startup founders listening, to take down notes, you need to actually know these things in advance and plan for them. All right, so the next question is going to go to David. And the question is, so fundraising, I think I should be up here first. All right, so fundraising can be emotionally intense. So what would you say were the most challenging moments during your $1 million seed round, and how did you navigate them personally and together as a team?
So fundraising is definitely a strange mix of feelings. I would say the two most common ones for us, for myself, were adrenaline and uncertainty. Because it's like trying to land a plane while you're still building the wings. Like, it's that kind of feeling. And the hardest part is not really the no's that you get during this journey, but it's managing these emotions and the energy for many months while trying to keep the same level of enthusiasm. Because some days you feel unstoppable, and others you question everything you're doing. I think for us, and I would say for all the founders that are looking to raise, the key subject, the key element is the team. You need to surround yourself with good people, strong people. Because for us, for example, when one of us was getting frustrated or was shutting down because he was exhausted or stressed, the others were trying to stay calm and focused and trying to take the lead. We learned that pausing and stopping sometime and resetting is the only strategy that works. Because as Gabriele said, like, flexibility is key. And you need to keep up. And don't take rejection personally. You need to take what's useful, drop what's not, and just keep going, keep moving forward. I would like to close probably this question just saying, trust your partners. Don't stop them in doing what they're great at. Even if sometimes you fear and you are insecure about what they could do or what they could say, if you are a team, you need to support each other, but especially trust each other, because each one of us is different and each one is good in something.
All right, that's a very lovely. Okay, I see Gabrielle has something to say. Okay, let me bring you up then.
I just wanted to say that one thing. I think a bunch of founders should get together to write a book about emotionally charged moments during fundraising, because it really is a stressful time. It's a stressful time. Lots of things happen. And yeah, there's a lot of those moments, I have to say.
All right, thank you for sharing that. Hope maybe we'll do a collective book and get different founders around the region to contribute to it. I hope you would be one of the people that would join us to do that at Builders Tribe, because I think that would be very useful and very helpful to like founders that are up and coming. All right, so I loved what you said about your team, how you should trust your team. It was during, I think it was sometime earlier this year when Gaurav was doing a masterclass about startups and founders, and he said something very important that has stayed with me to this day. He said, your founders, one way you should pick your founders is you should check for how they deal with stressful situations. All right, so he said like doing anything around startups is very stressful. So if you have a founder that cannot deal with stress or behaves and tries to ruin things when things are very stressful, that's a red flag and you should be careful about that. So thank you so much for sharing. I'll be moving on to the next question now. All right. So my next question is, I know you said, you should know when you are essentially going to raise from the start. You should have a plan and everything around that. But my question is, what would you say are the key indicators or milestones that made you know that, okay, at this point when we got here and here, it is now time to raise our seed fund? Because lots of people get confused. When should I raise my seed? When should I raise my pre-seed? What stage am I? What stage am I not at? And yes, I would love to hear from you, Gabrielle, how you were able to make this decision as a team.
But you've answered the question already. It's all about planning. It's about planning. It's about knowing the stage that you're at. It's about what your needs are. It's about what is the best way to get you where you want to go. During that process, there's always an element of I need to analyze what happened in the past. So you have to review your progress. You have to change slightly. So it's not a linear process. But the time when you have to fundraise should be based on the plan that you have, where you want to go, and what are your needs to be able to achieve, what you need to achieve in order to get to the next step. In terms of milestones, I guess for every business would be different. For us, it was our traction was based on MOUs, tech development, partnerships, pilots, increasing the network. So again, unfortunately, it's a boring answer, but it's always about planning. Spend a lot of time planning, and it will pay off later on. So as long as your plan is done in a way that can be followed, then you will see that it's gonna pay later on down the line.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that. The next question.
If I can just add something about that. Sometimes it's not just about the money. It's about accelerating what you're trying to do. And it's all about momentum. Like for us, we saw that there was the right moment and we decided to take it. So, you need to feel trust your gut sometimes as well.
All right, thank you for sharing. Thanks for adding that, extra snippets. There's a lot of talk about trusting your guts. I can see that's like a very important part of being a startup founder. So David, this next question is for you, and it's about the pitch. All right. So you both pitched your company many times. What was the core narrative or hook that made Growa AI's pitch stand out? And what do you think founders often get wrong when they are pitching?
Well, trying it in front of a mirror, that helps. You feel like a kid again before your exam the next day. But our pitch was built for one simple line, and what I believe is really important is that your mission statement is short and hooks people immediately. Because if people don't get it in the first 10 seconds, you already lost them, especially in this part of the world. And sometimes it's not just about features or fancy tech. It's about what it matters and to who it matters, especially, for example, for us, our goal and our mission. So yeah, founders, I think the founders often they forget that, and you cannot forget that you're not pitching a product, but you're pitching a movement, and like something that you're trying to do. So you need to talk about something that people can believe in, join in, and feel proud to back up. So if your story doesn't make people lean in, doesn't matter how many slides you have. So you need to show your passion. You need to show what you are doing. It is something different. It is something that matters to the person that you have in front and to others.
Thanks for sharing that perspective, David. Storytelling, that's something that everyone is talking about these days. You should tell stories, you need to connect emotionally with everybody, with investors. So thanks for giving us that perspective about what to do during your pitch. Yes, over to you, Gabriele. You have your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to add something because Davide is completely right. Davide is our pitching superstar as well. When we first started to pitch our company at the very beginning, when we were doing exploration around Qatar, Davide wasn't actually with us yet. He was still in Italy, and I was the one pitching the company. Although we were doing well, I immediately knew that Davide was going to resonate better, and he was going to be able to bring about the storytelling, that engagement that I probably wasn't the right person to do. So what I really want to say is, if you have a team, if you're not a sole entrepreneur, trust your team members to deliver the message, and try and get what is the best components. So what they are best at, always try to highlight it, and try to bring it to the front stage, no matter what happens. And sometimes the CEO is not the best person to pitch for the company. Sometimes you need the best person to pitch for the company is the one that is actually going to be able to deliver the message in the best possible way.
All right, thanks for that added perspective. I'm moving on to the next question, and this question is actually for you. And the question is, so when you started engaging with investors, what kind of investors were you looking out for, and how did you ensure that they were aligned with your vision beyond just capital?
I think pretty much everybody who's trying to raise money has the dream of the ideal investor, which is going to be, first of all, smart money. So it's going to bring not just capital, but it's going to bring some form of expertise or network or direct contracts or contacts or some know-how. So that's what we did as well. We started by looking for smart money. So looking for people that actually had a stake in smart agriculture or food security, somebody that had some form of interest. It kind of helps where you are a purpose company like us. So we're not just a tech company, we're actually a purpose company. We truly believe in our final aim, which is the one to address water scarcity and food security. So it kind of helped the people that we were speaking to, that were people that were already working in this sort of field. And therefore, the alignment was quite easy, put it this way. And then there is another element, which is that you need to be able to get along. You need to be able to work with these people. You have to be able to have certain conversations sometimes that are not going to be pleasant, because during the life of a startup, there are going to be ups and downs all the time. So that the key is be patient. Fundraising is a journey. Is a journey that probably never ends, because yes, you close a round, but you always have to plan for the next one, and you have to be ready. And every step that you take, you always have to keep that in mind. So yeah, it's a lot of conversation, a lot of networking. As Davide said before, is do not take rejections personally. We had somebody that is currently an investor of ours that it took this person a while before he decided to invest. At the beginning, wasn't particularly sure, then was able to see our progresses and therefore decided to invest. So don't take rejections personally. Speak to everybody, keep contacts with everybody that you meet. Always be honest. Integrity is the most important thing in business, in my opinion. And do not compromise on your values and try to find alignment.
Thanks so much for sharing that. Honesty, do not compromise on your values and try to find alignment. Okay, great. Well, moving on to David now for the next question. And let me take this up. Okay. So for early stage founders, what's your advice for early stage founders without massive traction? So how do they build this trust with investors? So what worked for Growa AI in convincing investors that they should bet on the company?
Well, after this experience, I would love to say that trust isn't built with traction, but trust is built with consistency. What we did, we didn't try to look perfect. We tried to look, as Gabriele said, real. Every conversation that we were having with an investor wasn't a pitch, was more like an update, and it wasn't a performance. Yeah, we were just, being ourselves. We showed what we did, what we were doing. We even told them what went wrong and how we fixed it, so they could actually see, like the way that we were working, and we were planning, strategizing how to come up with something different. And I guess that transparency made the people that we talked to, and then they invested in us, feel that we were reliable. That we were not there just to find money. We had something, and we were someone, trying to really make it. And what else? Credibility, I would say, that also comes from how you present yourself, how you carry yourself. As I was saying before, when we were talking about the pitch, preparation is key. You need to be prepared. You need to be sharp. Don't overpromise. That is something that, for example, in my previous experience, especially being a salesperson, sometimes you do. But when you're talking about your company, your product, your future, don't do it. Keep it real. And because investors can tell. Investor can tell within 5 minutes if you are grounded or you are just there trying to sell them a dreams. And the next thing that probably I'm gonna say, it's kind of easy for us because we are Italians. But you need to show your passion. You need to show your passion. You need to be confident. Because passion and confidence are contagious, and that's what convinces people sometimes. And these people, they're gonna say, okay, I believe them, and they will make it happen. So I want to be part of this journey with them. So yeah, that's how we did it. Real, confidence, passionate, and prepared.
Thanks for sharing, David. I think this perspective is really important because, when you're talking now about the fact that you were able to show the investors your journey, so not just saying, we have these numbers, but you're able to own up to the points where you had some failures and talked about how you fixed them. And, I think that's very genuine. And I see what you're saying about honesty and everything around that. So I hope everyone that's watching this, either live or if you'd watch the replay later, you're taking down notes. It's about honesty, and it's about, working properly with your team. So
and
next,
if I can add something, it is not just about numbers. This is key. We already said, Gab and I, the past half an hour, but you need to focus on, building your network, surrounding you with the right people, going to the right events, show your face, make people talk about you in a good way. And that's exactly what we did, especially Qatar, it depends, I guess it depends where you are in the world when you fundraise, because every country is different. But for example, here in Qatar and in the GCC in general, the environment is really small. People know each other, people talk, and you need to be honest, you need to be transparent, because if something not right has been said or has been done, then they're gonna know. But if you are a good person and you have a good product, you're talking to the right people, in a matter of months, everyone is gonna know who you are and what you're doing. And then the right investors will come. That's all.
And then the right investors will come. Amazing. Thank you so much, David.
Let me say something.
Okay.
Sorry, because you just said, and then the right investor will come. I can tell you that then the right investors, they will keep coming. So it's, Davide said something before, which is, it's all about momentum. You'd be surprised, once you start, it's actually difficult to stop the momentum, and you kind of don't want to. Because as much as it was a struggle at the beginning, as you move forward, there are more and more people that want to invest in you. There are more and more people that want to invest in the company. And this is something that we're noticing. And it's all about the momentum that you're trying to build. And fundamentally, I'm not just trying to say how good we were and how well we've done, but it's just to give some hope to somebody that is perhaps struggling to raise funds. Once you get the momentum going, as long as Davide said, you're being genuine, you have a good product, and you have a good plan, funds will come. And it's literally, it's a snowball effect. It gets bigger and bigger as you move along.
Okay, thanks for sharing that extra thought. I've never thought about it in this way, but this, I think, would make the founders in the room very excited, momentum, and they will keep coming. So I would like to remind our audience to put your questions in the comments. So when it's time for the Q&A, we can have a very seamless transition. Okay, so the next two questions are for you, Gabrielle. So David, you'll be resting for a bit as Gabrielle goes for a bit. Okay, so we want to talk about something, or get you to talk about something that, everybody loves to talk about, which is valuation. So valuation is always a tricky subject. So how did you approach valuing the company at this seed stage, and what advice would you give to other founders on negotiating without underselling themselves? One second.
I'm not sure I would agree on the fact that it's a tricky subject, I have to be honest. I think that the negotiation around valuation with investors can sometimes be a little bit tricky. However, the valuation itself should be, this day and age, quite easy. There are plenty of tools online. There are AI can help. There's a lot of methods that are scientifically kind of adopted by VCs, angels. So it's not that difficult now to value your company. Once you reach a valuation, because you're going to have a range, I would say be conservative. Ensure that all the data that you're feeding to the tools that are going to use, or the AI that you're going to use, or even the consultant that you're going to use for valuation, make sure that, again, they are conservative and they are truthful. And once you reach that range, be ready to negotiate. Once you do have a value in mind, absolutely do not undersell yourself. And if somebody is trying to lowball you with an offer and trying to offer you less than what you have, just simply say no. Use your use the integrity that you have. Explain why there is the valuation. Have some data to back it up. And sometimes can happen that the investors can actually see a reason why you're wrong, and you have to revise it. Most likely they will tell you that you'll have to revise it down. Sometimes they might be right. Or sometimes the particular investor you're going to find is not just bringing just money, it's bringing something else. And therefore, it is worth for them to have a bigger slice of your baby, the company that you built. I would say have your data at hand. Make sure that you can defend your valuation. Make sure that when you've done it, all the data were correct. And make sure that it's realistic. I can share a very brief story. There's another startup in our group when we first moved here that I will not mention. But they had, depending on the method that you use, so whether it's a discounted cash flow or a comparison or whatever, you get sometimes quite different values. So they simply decided to go to the highest method and the highest range of the valuation. And this simply didn't work for them. And although it seems quite obvious, that because they were able to achieve that number, they just thought they had to stick with that number, and therefore they probably passed on some deals that could have been quite good for them. So just to summarize, be honest with the data that you're using to do your valuation. Once you reach it, be conservative and go to the lower end of the valuation, as long as you believe it's going to work with your plan. And then look for the right investors. And if the right investors, or who you consider to be the right investors, does not agree with the valuation, be ready to negotiate, be ready to defend your position. But yeah, never undersell yourself, because you're going to have to do another round and another round and another round. And if the founding team needs to keep motivated, needs to be on it, and they have to have some skin in the game.
All right, thank you so much for that perspective. Quite interesting. I feel like I want this gist of camera, because lots and lots of founders actually make this mistake, and they're not conservative with their valuation, and then it just affects them in the long run. Yeah, so thank you for pointing that out. And so for the next question, it says, so after the seed round was raised, so after the celebration, after the announcements, after everything, so how did raising actually change your operations, decision-making, and even your team dynamics?
It makes me laugh when I see after the celebrations of closing the seed round. Davide can tell you what we did when we closed the seed round. We went to a Korean barbecue, all you can eat. There was a celebration. It was literally, yeah, okay, we've done well. Let's get ready to work. But fundamentally, once you close both your pre-seed and your seed, what's really happening is that now you have the opportunity to make sure that what was on paper becomes a reality. So, and you have an added responsibility because you have the investors' money. And as much as they have bet on the idea, the company, they've mainly bet on you. So they've bet on the team, on the team being able to deliver what they said they're going to deliver. So the main difference is that there is this, let's call it added responsibility. And also there is added accountability, because obviously the dynamics they slightly change. Not that much, especially if you have the right investors, which we're very lucky that we have. One of the big differences is that in our case, but I guess in a lot of cases, you start to expand your team. So we've employed other people. Once you employ other people, the dynamics necessarily need to change a little bit. We pride ourselves to be very friendly. We believe that if you were to ask one of our new starters, they would say that we are, again, very friendly, very flexible, accommodating. We try and keep professional, even though we do like to have a bit of fun. But when it's time to be professional, we are very professional, I would say. And that's the main difference. You are bringing other people into the team. And every time you have new people in the team, as somebody once told me, you have, the forming, the storming, the norming, and the performing. So there are some dynamics that takes a little bit of time to change, to improve, let's say. So yeah, the main difference is the added responsibility and accountability. The fact that what was on paper now needs to come to life. And therefore, the pressure is a little bit more. Or at least that's how it should be. Sometimes a little bit of pressure, not too much, actually helps you speed up and improve your operations. Davide, I'll be interested to see what you think as well about this. But yeah, this is how I see it.
I'll just add something quickly, because I'm just checking the time, and soon Ajiri will tell us that we talk too much. But the only thing that I would like to say is don't get scared. I mean, as Gabriele said, there is this brief silence after the celebration. For us, was one evening at all you can eat Korean barbecue. It was super quick, but the weight of responsibility that hits you, it's empowering, because you're no longer, struggling or surviving. You're actually building now, and yeah, it's cool. It's still frustrating at time, because it's nothing really changed, right? And now you just have more people, but yeah, I saw the difference in us in terms of, like, especially pace in making decisions, becoming more agile, like trying to structure ourselves in a different way that before was just based on paper, when now we can actually do it. That's all.
All right. I guess the peace of mind that comes with it is very nice. It feels good, feels very validating, and you can now build more sustainably. So the next question is for you, actually, David. And the question is, so looking back, what's the one thing that you would do differently if you were to raise your seed round again? And what's one thing you're glad you did right? I have a feeling that Gabrielle will want to share, so I'll give you some time to also answer after David.
I might repeat a little bit myself with this answer, but if I could do it all over again, I would stop trying to make everything perfect before talking to people. I would just go at them, because I believe the fundraising is not about the perfect pitch deck. It's about the right conversation. And what we did right, as we said already a few times, is the momentum. Was the momentum. We didn't wait for the funding to start doing things. We just cracked on. We had a plan. We stuck to it. As we said, there was myself that I was trying to go and talk to the right partners, the right investors. There was Gabriele that was keeping the company alive, running smoothly. There was Giuliano that was, taking care of the tech side. So we were really clear on our roles, and we were already executing. Right, we were already trying to prove the concept. Signing MOUs, signing pilots. So the only thing that I would change is, like, trying to be perfect, just start earlier, maybe doing what we did at the end, because the first few months were slower. And what else? Nothing. When we walked into meetings, we were not pitching an idea. We were showing that we were moving a train. That was exactly what we ended up learning at the end, and what helped us making everything possible. Because people don't jump on empty trains. They jumped on trains that they have a lot of people is a little bit when like when you want to go to a restaurant, you walk down the street and there is many restaurants right and left. You don't go to the empty restaurants. You go to the restaurant that is full because you know that the food is good. So yeah, like that would be the only thing that I would change personally. But I don't know, Gab, if you want to add anything.
I'm gonna disagree slightly with you. I think that certain things do happen for a reason. I am not sure whether we would have had the same result if we were doing it that way back then. So I'm not sure, put it that way. However, Davide was the driving force to get most of our angel investors on board. So probably knows better than me. But yeah, I think that things happen for a reason. I agree on the perfection part. Perfection is absolutely the enemy of good. It's just the definition of perfection. What for Davide was perfection, for me was acceptable or good. But I guess we have different criteria in that specific case. But no, everything else I agree, especially the momentum part. That's absolutely true. And if I can just say what I would change, I'm going to stick with the boring planning guy. I would just change the way we planned it, because we were a little bit late. And therefore, it would have been nice if that was reflected in the planning that we created. So, yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing. So for everybody in the comments, essentially, we're going to be taking questions right about now. And let me, oh no, that's not it. Okay. So if you have any questions and you haven't put them in the chat, I may not be able to bring your question up. So the question we have here from Samuel, it says, what metric or non-metric factor did investors focus on and scrutinize the most? Who wants to take the question?
We can do it together, or
yeah, it's fine.
Shall I, Davide?
Go. Yeah, go for it.
I think unfortunately the answer is it depends on the investor that we were talking about. So there were some that were more focused on the numbers, focused on the how scalable you are. Some were focusing on the tech side. Some of them were purely focusing on the mission and the team and the ability to deliver. It depends whether we're talking angels, whether we're talking institutional investors. So it really depends. I would say that the common denominator for all of them is the team. So it's the ability of the team, the past of the team, the experience of the team, and the trust that they could put into the people of the team to be able to deliver. I think that's the only thing that I would say that was common with all of them. Other than that, I'm not sure there was anything specific that I can point to about scrutiny. There's been a lot of due diligence in, especially on the institutional side, and there still is. So if you're ready to try and guess someone that is either bank, government, paragovernmental, anything like this, be prepared. There's a lot of due diligence that you will have to go through. And the metrics can vary from financial, business readiness, go-to-market plans. There's a whole palaver of things that you will have to get ready for. But yeah, I would say that if I had to say what is the one thing that everybody focused on, was the ability to the team to deliver. Davide?
Yeah, I mean, the question that I got asked the most when I was talking to angels in general was, can your team turn validation into a scalable business? That was the main question that I was getting. Like the focus was purely, obviously they wanted to understand, you know, your product or your idea, whatever it is, but they were really zooming in on how clear our path was, because they probably see many startups every day or every week, and a lot of them is because they're showing them, hockey stick graphs and so on. But what they want to know is your control, your conviction, and if you really believe in what you're doing. That was the most common subject between the angels.
If I can say something about the numbers, actually, because I totally agree with Davide. I think that sometimes on a pitch deck, you absolutely need numbers, and but what they're really interesting in is to know whether you understand how they work. So if you are able to back up some of the data, because I challenge every single business, every single startup that actually had some, especially at the seed stage, they said that this is what we're going to achieve. We definitely achieved that. So the where you're going to be, numbers don't tell the real story. So they really want to know just if you understand the numbers in order to be able to run it and in order to be able to deal with what's going on, what was going to happen. But those are really, as Davide said, not the main thing. Those are not the ones that are going to get you the customers. Even from a scale perspective, they're going to look at, are you going to be able to execute? Not, are you going to be able to put the numbers on a spreadsheet in the correct way and manage to work out your cost percentage, profit, revenue, and so on and so forth. So yeah, team.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing all that. It's great to see this perspective because, there are lots of seminars and lots of things teaching people how to fundraise, and a lot of focus on, you need to show this, you need to show that. And, it's good to see that the things that investors actually do care about are not the things that most people think that even investors care about. So there's another question here. That'll be the final question we're taking today before one final question. And this question is, what's the most difficult question an investor asked, and how did you pivot to answer it successfully?
If you want, I take this one, Gab.
Go for it.
One investor asked me this question once, and he said, or she said actually, why you? What makes your team the one that can actually pull this off? And if you think about it, it sounds so simple, this question, but in that moment, it really forced me to, to drop all my charm and buzzwords and be brutally honest. I actually didn't start listing all our achievements, all our background in terms of professional background. It just came out, and I said, because we have already done it. We already done the R part. We executed before coming and talking to you, and that shifted the tone completely in the conversation. Because I brought it back to reality. I wasn't there just to ask money to try to do something. I was there to ask him money to accelerate what I was already doing, and that made a massive difference. Because instead of defending, I showed that we already did it. We're already building it. We just needed help to accelerate it. But in that specific moment, it caught me off guard. But that was the question for me.
So you see, everything does happen for a reason. If you had that conversation 3 months before, you might not have the answer.
That was one out of the 3 angels. So that doesn't. But guys, by the way, Gab and I, we know each other for a really long time, and we work like this. So I say that is white. He says that is black. That's basically our life. But yeah, can I just answer? There was another question that it was, how did you manage the emotional and mental toll of fundraising while still running the business? Because I think this is actually a really cool question, because it's super tough. It's extremely tough. I mean, for Gabriele and I, it was even harder because we were away from our families. So we didn't have to manage only the fundraise and the business, but we had to manage even our private life, being away from our kids, from our wives. So it really felt like not running 2 marathons, but 3 marathons at the same time. Because on one side, you're thinking about the company. On the other side, you're thinking about the fundraising, and then the most important is your sanity, your family, your health. What really helped us was trying to separate the emotion or the emotions, the feelings. We tried to build a rhythm at the beginning. Then obviously you have to be flexible. So the mornings at the beginning were for operations and strategy, and the evening was more like, for example, for investors meeting. Then everything changed, but the key structure kept us from burning out, and the support that we were giving each other. So when one of us was done, he couldn't do it. He was tired, stressed, exhausted. There was the other one just saying, "Hey, come on, we can do it." And every no that we got, we treated as a free market research. Every time we were talking to someone that was saying no to us, we were still learning new things. We were still asking more questions to ourselves. Okay, how can we do it better next time? And that's it. You learn really quickly that resilience isn't about pretending that you're okay, but it's about staying focused, going faster, and get to the objective as quick as possible.
Oh, that's amazing. That's I think this clearly shows us exactly why you're able to raise, because I believe that they would have seen that synergy and that collaboration, and that they would have seen why the team would actually be able to take this vision further. So I'd like to thank the both of you today. Do you have any final things you would like to say? Because right now we're wrapping up the session.
There's something that Davide said before, just now, which is we've known each other for many years. If I say that something is white, he said that something is black. It's important to surround yourself with people that have different opinions. It's really important to create a team with diversity, with different opinions. Because yes, we all have to go into the same direction. It's important that we all have the same vision. It's important that we all do understand how to work with each other, and there's mutual respect and all these sorts of things. But it's important to have a plurality of opinions and different opinions. So don't shy away from conflict. Don't shy away from conflicts inside. This is what really gives the diversity that is needed, and adopt this kind of mentality also with investors, because I think one of the biggest lessons is, as Davide said, every time you are getting a no, maybe there's a reason. So analyze what they said to you. Perhaps there is actually something wrong with your model, and it's something that you have to change. Or sometimes perhaps you haven't expressed yourself in the best possible way, and therefore you have to adjust your aim a little bit, and being able to communicate something more effectively. Sometimes the person is just going to be the right one. But every time you get a no, you need to learn something. It's a lesson that you have to treasure. Feedback, especially constructive feedback, is what really shapes not just a company, but people. We have to be able to take constructive criticism and turn it into positive.
I'll be shorter. I'll be much quicker than Gab. I promise. It's just one sentence that I want to say. Guys, stay obsessed with your mission. Stay real when things get difficult and tough. Keep your story really simple, so anyone not only can understand it but can repeat it, to someone else later on. Because when your vision is clear and the execution is consistent, money follows. That's what happened to us. What it's happening to us now, even if the round is closed. So yeah, don't put yourself down. Keep it up, and make your mission and your vision as simple as possible to understand for people, so they can talk about it for you, and they are doing the hard work, their job for you. That's it.
All right, thank you so much, Gabriel and David. I would like to invite everyone. So if you have more questions, maybe you're watching this later, you're watching the replay, do well to connect with them on LinkedIn. So you can find David on LinkedIn as Davide Fabris. You can find Gabrielle on LinkedIn as Gabriele De Propris. I hope I pronounced that right. Did good? Okay, great. And then please also follow Growa.ai on all socials and visit Growa.ai to learn more about what they're doing and to stay connected to their journey. And also, you know, if you think you need to use their products, please do. You know, and yes, so I would say today has been a very exciting time. I've learned so much from the both of you. I took down lots of notes. You can't see it, but I'm really thankful that you decided to honor our invitation and show up here today. So thank you so much for your time. This brings us to the end of today's Tech Forward Talks inside your $1 million seed round. Look forward to all the great things that Growa AI would do. So bye, Gabrielle. Bye, David.
Thanks again. Take care.
All right. So for everybody else that's still here with us, don't forget to follow Builders Tribe HQ on all socials. Visit our website at builderstribe.xyz to learn more about us. Hit subscribe right now so you stay updated on all the things that we will do. We have lots and lots of things coming up. And yeah, this is the end of today's live, and I'll see you next time. Or maybe Michael will see you. Depends on, how we decide to do things. All right. Bye for now. Catch you in the next one.